Let's finish off this video by looking at a couple of interesting functions, well, one or two other interesting functions, just to give you an idea of what some of these functions can do. And yeah, I think by looking at other functions, it will make it easier for you to understand the concepts that we just covered. Again, if some of this stuff is hazy to you, don't worry. It's surprising how it begins to sink in once you actually start using different functions. And I suggest that after watching this video and part 2 as well, where you build your own functions, I would suggest that you start playing with different functions and experimenting with them just to get a feel for the process. It goes a long way. So let's look at a very important function in PHP. I'm creating a variable first, of course, to capture the value from the function. Now, this is a function you're probably going to use a lot because it helps with security when you're processing forms in PHP. Now, what strip tags does is it removes any PHP tags and HTML tags from a string of text. So this is often used when people are processing forms where they want to make sure that somebody's not trying to send up malicious code or something up the pipe. So what they do is the strip tags will remove the tags from the string of text from the form input. This way they can't do things like try to sabotage your database or any other nasty garbage like that. So we're gonna just put in a few basic tags. So that's just enough to make the point. So, and we'll just echo out the results that this particular function gives us. Let's take a look at it in the page now. So we see tags. The PHP tags is the text that's left over from the original. As you notice, there's no PHP, there's no P tag, there's no PHP code as well. Strip tags removes that for us from the string. So this is actually a very important function that you're probably going to be using quite a bit when you start processing forms with PHP. Here's another simple function that can be quite useful. It's the string stri pose function. This function takes two arguments, argument number 1, argument number 2, again separated by the comma. And the first argument is the string that you want to examine, and the second argument is what you're looking for, what piece of text are you looking for in that string. So what string pose does, is short for string position, checks to see if a piece of text that you have mentioned, you identify in the second argument, if it actually exists in the big string. This is a good way, for instance, to check whether or not a user, somebody's entered in proper information within a form or improper information. So in this case, what I've done is created a very, very simple email validator that just checks to see that this person actually entered in an email address, well, an @ symbol. You need an @ symbol in your email address. Now this is very simple, I know, but I'm just showing you just to prove a point. So again, how this function works, if it finds the particular letter you're looking for, piece of text you're looking for in your string in your first argument, it will return the position, the string position within the string here. So does that make sense? So if this was in position 10, this function string pose will return the value of 10 to results. So what I've done here, if it doesn't find the @ symbol, it will return a null value or a blank value. It will be basically false. So what I've done here, I've taken the return result, put it into a variable, and then use this variable inside of an if statement. And essentially, if it finds this symbol in here, the script will echo out it has the @ symbol. So let's take a look see what happens. And sure enough, we see we do have an @ symbol. So let's take out the @ symbol here. We'll save that. Let's watch again. And you see nothing is printed because this, of course, evaluates to false. Let's do something wild and crazy. And we're going to use the else statement. We'll echo out a different response. No at symbol. Refresh that. No at symbol. See, now what we could do if we want to really get funky, so let's look how we can use one function to help another function out. So then we could send out a mail, and I'm just gonna leave these blank for now. Now, so we could send out a mail, so if the person actually entered in a proper email address, assuming that this is all we were checking for, then we could say, okay, he's entered a proper email address, send out a mail by calling the mail function. The point of this is to show you how we can use functions to string together a logical sequence inside of our PHP scripts. You notice how the functions take away a lot of excess code in our pages, and so we have a very clean page, as opposed to, imagine if we had to write out all the code by hand to send an email. It could be a lot of code in a page. For instance, in Java is a language that takes a lot more code to get anything done, and to send an email in Java using the base Java mail functions and capabilities, it would require over a page of code. So it's very common for Java coders to basically write functions. In Java, functions are called methods, but they're functions. Basically, Java people will write functions that will basically wrap around, package up the native Java email code so that they can have just a neat function call like we have here with mail and PHP to keep their main scripts nice and clean. Fortunately for us, the PHP nerds decided to make it as simple as possible for us, so all we have is this simple mail function to call and we're ready to go. In the next part, we're going to actually build our own custom PHP functions, and we're going to learn how to use them in our PHP scripts. Yeah, I think you'll find that particular video very interesting, because when you create custom functions, you can wrap up your own code into the function packages, which your own code could be just your standard PHP code. You can also integrate other functions, whether other functions you've created or functions that come built into PHP, into your own custom functions. And it's a very powerful combination that will allow you to create modular code that's very reusable.